make enough money off of me.
Tyla didn't slowly build an audience or wait for a lucky feature to introduce her to the mainstream. She arrived like a wave nobody saw coming, and before anyone could figure out where she came from, her name was already everywhere. Blowing up that fast comes with a cost though, because the internet doesn't just celebrate new stars, it interrogates them. The question people keep whispering about Tyla has nothing to do with whether she's talented. What they want to know is whether someone is building her to be a replacement, a familiar face designed for a throne that's been sitting empty for years now. Once you hear that theory, especially when you learn who else gets pulled into it, everything about her rise starts looking different. Starting with what nobody can deny, her song Water dropped in 2023 and didn't just perform well, it completely took over. The track climbed week after week until it landed at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, which is a position most artists never touch in their entire careers. Breaking into the American market for the first time made that achievement even more unusual. What happened next sealed her place in history, because when the Grammys introduced their first ever award for Best African Music Performance, Tyla walked away with it for that exact song. This was an underground hype that burned out after a few weeks of attention. History was being written in real time, and she was holding the pen. Her numbers kept climbing after that, and something else climbed right alongside them. The comparisons started slow at first, just a comment here and a tweet there, nothing that felt organized. Then, everything exploded at once. Side-by-side breakdowns flooded timelines showing the fashion choices, the attitude, and that effortless cool girl energy that made people stop scrolling. Comment sections across every platform filled up with the same 2 words over and over again. Rihanna too. Some people typed it like a compliment, while others made it sound like an accusation. And either way, the narrative had already started forming around her. The wildest part is that Tyla hadn't even dropped her second single yet when all of this reached a boiling point. Brushing this off as typical internet behavior would be easy enough to do. A new star shows up, an old star hasn't released music in years, and fans start drawing connections that may or may not actually exist. Pop culture has always worked this way, with trends repeating themselves and aesthetics cycling back around. Y2K fashion didn't stay buried forever, and neither did the blueprint Rihanna left behind when she stepped away from music. A young artist stepping into the spotlight with international appeal and undeniable presence is going to attract comparisons no matter what she does. And that doesn't automatically mean something shady is happening behind the scenes. What made the replacement theory catch fire so fast is how simple and dramatic the idea sounds when you say it out loud. Labels aren't just looking for talent when they sign new artists, they're looking for a template, a story they already know how to sell to the public. When a new artist fits the mold of someone the culture already misses, the whole machine moves quicker and positioning becomes easier. The audience already knows what they're supposed to feel because they've felt it before with someone else. Nobody actually proved this is what happened with Tyla, but the pattern felt familiar enough that people started treating speculation like confirmed fact, and once that happens, the conversation takes on a life of its own. Tyla's response to all of this showed a level of composure that most people in her position wouldn't have. She didn't ignore the noise and she didn't get defensive about it either. When interviewers asked her directly about the Rihanna comparisons, her answer stayed measured and calm. Being compared to Rihanna feels flattering. She acknowledged, because Rihanna is Rihanna and everyone knows what that name represents. What she also made clear is that she's her own artist, and the more people get to know her work, the more obvious that will become. No shade existed in those words and no frustration leaked through either. Just boundaries delivered with confidence. Pulling off that kind of response is harder than most people realize because saying too little makes you look like you're hiding something, and saying too much makes you look bothered. Tyla walked that line perfectly and kept moving forward.
I look up to Rihanna. She's done an amazing job, and I hope to one day be on that level and even bigger, you know?
Oh, yes.
Because I really believe.
Then something else entered the conversation, and the Rihanna comparisons suddenly weren't even the loudest part of the noise anymore. Rumors started circulating online suggesting that Tyla and Travis Scott might be more than just collaborators who worked on a song together. None of this has been confirmed by anyone involved, and the claims trace back to anonymous sources and insider chatter without any hard evidence attached. The internet never waits for confirmation though. It reacts to headlines first and figures out the truth whenever it gets around to it. Tyla and Travis already share a real and documented connection that gave the rumors just enough fuel to spread, because he appeared on the official Water remix that came out in late 2023, and that collaboration put them in the same creative orbit. The logic people used went something like this. They worked together on music, They've been spotted in overlapping industry circles, and now a rumor drops, which must mean something real is happening. Celebrity speculation has always spread this way, where you take one small confirmed detail and stretch it with imagination until you've built a storyline that feels believable even when nothing has been proven. What nobody expected was where the Travis rumor would lead next, because it didn't just stay about Travis for very long. Rihanna's name got pulled right back into the middle of everything, and here's where the timeline gets interesting. Back around 2015, Travis Scott and Rihanna were heavily rumored to be romantically linked, though neither of them ever confirmed it publicly despite all the reports circulating at the time. When the Tyla rumor started spreading years later, people immediately connected those old dots to the new situation. The logic became almost mathematical in how people presented it online. Tyla is already being compared to Rihanna based on her image and energy, and now she's potentially linked to someone Rihanna was once linked to, which means this whole thing has to be intentional and orchestrated. That's the leap a huge number of people made, not because anyone proved it with evidence, but because it fit perfectly into the story they already believed was true. Maybe none of it actually means anything when you step back and look at the full picture. The entertainment industry has always recycled circles and created overlapping collaborations, and gossip blogs need to fill slow news days with something that generates clicks. Even if the rumor turns out to be completely fabricated, though, the damage to how people perceive Tyla has already been done. Speculation like this shifts public perception in ways that are hard to reverse, because Tyla went from being seen as an exciting new breakout star to being seen as an exciting new breakout star caught up in a much bigger narrative. Once that shift happens in how people frame you, everything you do gets reinterpreted through that lens, whether you want it to or not. Being labeled the next version of anyone comes with a trap built right into it. The moment people decided Tyla was the next Rihanna, they stopped letting her just be Tyla on her own terms. Every outfit she wears now gets analyzed for hidden meaning by people searching for connections. Every interview clip gets dissected by viewers hunting for potential shade toward other artists. Every collaboration she announces becomes evidence of some larger industry strategy being executed in plain sight. Her music stops being the main topic of conversation because she's become a character in a story she never agreed to play a part in. What makes all of this even more frustrating is that Tyla's actual story stands strong enough without any of the manufactured drama attached to it. She represents one of those rare artists who turned a viral moment into legitimate chart success that lasted beyond the initial buzz. Backing that up with industry recognition at the Grammy level is something most people spend entire careers chasing without ever reaching. Going viral is the easy part that happens to countless artists every year. Staying relevant after that initial wave of attention crashes is where most careers fall apart, and Tyla managed both achievements before most people even learned how to pronounce her name correctly. The real question that hangs over all of this is whether these comparisons are helping her career grow or holding her back from reaching her full potential. Being linked to a legend does keep attention focused on you and creates curiosity among people who might otherwise scroll past your content. Casual listeners start thinking, maybe they should pay closer attention to this new artist. Everyone keeps comparing to someone they already love. That kind of borrowed spotlight has launched plenty of careers in the past and given new artists a platform they couldn't have built on their own. The other side of that equation builds expectations that no human being can realistically meet, though, because when people say next Rihanna, what they actually mean is that they want the feeling Rihanna gave them and they want to experience it again with someone new. That feeling wasn't just about music or hit songs, though. It came from timing and cultural context and a once-in-a-generation presence that can't be duplicated even by someone with genuine talent and star power. All of that context explains why this moment feels so tense for everyone watching Tyla's career unfold. Nothing she did was wrong, and she clearly isn't trying to be someone else or copy another artist's blueprint. The internet keeps forcing her into a role she never auditioned for, though, casting her as the sequel, the substitute, the stand-in for someone who's still alive and could return to music whenever she decides she wants to. Accepting that framing means spending an entire career being measured against an impossible standard set by someone else. Rejecting it too loudly gives people ammunition to twist her words into arrogance or ingratitude. Either path leads to the same destination, which is working within a setup designed to keep her in second place no matter how much she achieves on her own. The real story here might not be Tyla versus Rihanna at all. When you think about it clearly, What we're actually watching is Tyla versus the narrative that keeps getting written around her without anyone asking her permission first. The comparisons will keep coming for as long as she keeps winning and proving the skeptics wrong. If the Travis rumors keep circulating online, whether they turn out to be true or completely made up from nothing, people will keep spinning them into symbolism that supports whatever theory they already believe about her and the industry. Everything about the next chapter of this story depends on one thing that only time will reveal. Can Tyla make the world stop searching for Rihanna every time they look at her face and listen to her music? Can she build something so undeniably her own that the comparisons start feeling outdated and lazy instead of relevant and insightful? That question is what separates artists who have a moment from artists who build a legacy that lasts for decades. Now the question goes to everyone watching this video. Are these comparisons just harmless hype that naturally comes with sudden fame and success? Or do they trap an artist in a box before she even gets the chance to fully evolve into whoever she's meant to become? If the Travis rumors turn out to be nothing at all based on fabricated gossip, will people finally let the whole narrative go? Or will they just search for the next angle they can use to keep Rihanna's name permanently attached to everything Tyla does? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any of the celebrity gossip. Thanks for watching.